You might think you're taking care of your brain, but there's a hidden danger lurking in 5 silent mistakes you could be making every single day without realizing it. Mistakes that quietly chip away at your memory, your focus, and even your personality. And the first shocking mistake is skipping quality sleep because while you might assume that 4 or 5 hours is enough, the truth is that sleep is the brain's secret cleaning crew, flushing out toxic proteins like beta amyloid that silently accumulate and pave the way for devastating cognitive decline. So every night you shortchange your rest, you're unknowingly inviting those invisible toxins to settle deeper. And over time, this builds a hidden fog that clouds your thinking, slows your reactions, and erases names, faces, even precious moments you thought you'd never forget. And what's more chilling is that studies reveal even mild sleep deprivation can mimic the effects of early dementia, leaving you walking through your days in a haze you barely notice until it's too late. And the damage isn't just nightly. Each hour lost compounds across weeks and months, silently accelerating the erosion of brain pathways you once relied on effortlessly. So the next time you push through fatigue, staying up late for a show, or scrolling endlessly, realize you're trading fleeting entertainment for irreplaceable neural integrity, and consider the tiny invisible battles happening inside your brain as you deny it. The rest it needs battles where immune cells falter, inflammation creeps in, and the scaffolding of memory begins to crumble at the edges, setting you on a path you won't see coming until it's far too late. But even if you're sleeping enough, you might still be sabotaging your brain by ignoring hydration. Because dehydration isn't just about feeling thirsty, it secretly shrinks your brain tissue, reducing the very volume of your brain and forcing neurons to fire slower, leading to subtle forgetfulness you brush off as aging, but is actually a warning sign. And every cup of water you skip creates tiny gaps in your brain's communication network, like missing bridges between islands, making it harder for ideas to connect and memories to stick. And astonishingly, research shows that even a mere 2% drop in hydration can impair your attention motor coordination and executive function, making simple decisions feel harder, conversations feel foggier, and tasks feel overwhelming. So if you've ever felt scattered for no reason, the cause could be something as basic yet insidious as chronic underhydration. And yet hydration alone won't save you if you're falling into the third hidden trap, a sedentary lifestyle. Because every hour you sit still, your circulation slows, starving your brain of the oxygen and nutrients it needs to regenerate. And while you may feel relaxed watching TV or scrolling, your brain is quietly suffocating, losing the growth of new neurons that physical movement secretly triggers. And this invisible shrinkage doesn't make headlines in the mirror, but unfolds deep inside, where the hippocampus, the part of your brain that controls memory, gradually shrivels, stealing your ability to form new memories or recall old ones. And shockingly, researchers have found that people who sit for extended periods without movement experience thinning in critical regions of the brain tied to learning and memory, meaning that every hour spent immobile is an hour your brain edges closer to atrophy, and yet simply standing up, stretching, walking, or moving your limbs can interrupt this decline, delivering a surge of oxygen and life to regions silently gasping for nourishment. And if that weren't enough, the fourth mistake you might be making is underestimating chronic stress. Because while you may think stress is just a mental strain, it secretly floods your brain with cortisol, a hormone that in small doses is useful, but in constant waves becomes corrosive, eating away at synapses, killing brain cells, and reducing the very connections that make you you. So every argument replayed in your head, every worry kept alive at night becomes a slow burn that damages the wiring meant to hold your thoughts together. And chillingly, scientists have found that chronic stress actually shrinks the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for decision-making, focus, and self-control, while simultaneously enlarging the amygdala, the brain's fear center, making you more reactive, more anxious, more prone to seeing threats even where none exist, creating a vicious cycle that deepens over time, feeding a hidden storm inside your mind. And the final hidden mistake, the one few people talk about, is isolating yourself. Because while solitude can feel peaceful, prolonged isolation secretly starves your brain of the stimulation it needs to stay sharp. As every conversation you avoid, Every gathering you skip, every interaction you dismiss is another opportunity lost for your brain to flex its social circuits, and without that challenge, those circuits quietly atrophy, leaving you more vulnerable not just to loneliness, but to accelerated cognitive decline. And disturbingly, research shows that loneliness increases the risk of dementia by a shocking 40%, a hidden epidemic affecting millions without visible scars. Because every day without meaningful interaction is another day. Your brain's neural connections weaken like a muscle left unused. And what's most alarming is that these 5 silent mistakes don't scream their arrival. They creep in quietly hidden beneath routines and habits you've accepted as normal, until one day you forget where you put the keys, then a name, then a birthday, until the map inside your mind starts losing its landmarks. And unless you take bold action now, prioritizing deep sleep, drinking water, deliberately moving your body daily, calming your mind actively, and connecting with others intentionally, you risk waking up one day, realizing the most precious part of you. Your mind has been quietly slipping away all along, so the challenge is clear. Which of these silent mistakes will you stop making today, before another memory fades, and how far are you willing to go to defend the very essence of who you are before it becomes too late to reclaim what's already vanishing? And as you stand at this crossroads, know that every choice you make, every habit you build, every moment of awareness is either fortifying or eroding your brain. And in the quiet moments when you think you're safe, the question remains: are you unknowingly inviting decline, or are you actively choosing to fight for your mind's vitality? And in that choice lies the secret to aging. Not just longer, but sharper, clearer, and more fiercely alive than you ever imagined. Because the true danger isn't in losing your memories. It's in not realizing they're slipping away until the very end. So ask yourself, what will you remember and what will you forget when the cost of inaction is measured not in years, but in moments? You can never get back, and every small decision ripples forward, shaping not just the future of your memory, but the very fabric of your identity. And as you sit reading these words, you are at a pivotal moment where your actions determine whether the next chapter of your life is marked by clarity or confusion, by strength or vulnerability, by empowerment or regret. Because no doctor, no pill, no shortcut will ever replace the compounding effect of daily choices, the simple yet profound power you hold each morning, when you rise each evening, when you rest each moment, when you choose awareness over autopilot, connection over withdrawal, movement over stillness, nourishment over neglect. And as you carry these truths forward, may you find not fear, but fierce resolve, not resignation, but a bold commitment to protect the masterpiece of your mind, knowing that every step you take today is a brick laid in the fortress, guarding your memories, your wisdom, and your irreplaceable story. And beyond these 5 mistakes lie countless micro-decisions that either nourish or neglect your cognitive health, from the foods you eat that either fuel or inflame your neurons, to the environments you choose that either stimulate or stagnate your senses, to the boundaries you set, that either preserve your peace or invite chaos. And with each passing year, the cost of these small decisions compounds, invisibly weaving a tapestry that foretells whether your mind will remain vibrant or vulnerable. And the question before you now is not simply what mistakes you've made, but what commitments you're willing to uphold, what truths you're willing to embody, and how fiercely you're willing to fight for the clarity, joy, and presence that only a healthy brain can sustain. Because at the end of every day, the battle for your mind is waged quietly, invisibly, relentlessly. And only you can decide whether to surrender or to stand, to drift or to direct, to accept decline, or to claim the strength still waiting within you.